Are you? Good.
I didn't recognize
I'll
it.
stop in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here all today and tomorrow, so we'll get together.
Awesome. Thank you. Everything going good? Yeah. Did you grow a beard or something? No.
Absolutely. I know. I don't want to work with us.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm Scott Mosher with TDH Manufacturing. Sorry. Tell you a little bit about myself. I used to be in the pump business for years, third generation driller, pump guy. Sold out a couple years ago and decided to start making pump waste. Pretty excited about what we're going to show you here. I think it's going to be a game changer for everybody. I think everybody here has dealt with Tier 4 emissions. The last 12 years since they came out with the diesel exhaust filters. How many people here have had issues with filters and DEF and, you know, engines shutting down because it's idle too long or any issue like that? I think that the other side of that is we go to deck engines. And in my opinion, a deck engine is kind of like a lawnmower sitting there running in your ear all day long. And now you have deck engines that are Tier 4, and they have the diesel exhaust fluid and everything else too. So I think this right here is going to be a game changer for everybody. I'm going to put Kate on here for just a second. He's going to explain a couple things, and then we'll get this thing unveiled.
So when we kind of started looking into, you know, other options besides like a deck engine, PTO, stuff like that, we started looking into the cost. What do you really procure in what you're idling all year long? And so we found this formula here, and what this formula is telling you, you know, between gas prices, engine hours, you know, replacing engines, all that good stuff, we found, you know, based on like the 6.7 liter diesel engine, it's burning about 1.1 gallons per hour, okay? And we base this number here off of, you know, working five days a week, your engine's idling 6 hours a day, and you're working all year long at an average diesel price right now is $3.50. You're spending about $6,000 just in diesel, and your truck's just sitting there. It's not really doing anything. Then, once you calculate, you know, what you have in average fuel economy, which, you know, most guys are 8 to 10 miles per gallon. You got an oil change, it's $150 every 5,000 miles. And then a new truck, you know, average is $60,000, and you're trying to trade in 100,000 miles so you can get some value out of it. You're spending $15,000 a year just in your truck not doing really anything. And so, you know, going through all this stuff, and this doesn't even have to do with, like Scott said, the DEF issues, the filters. If you do an extended warranty, you know, the hours that your engine's doing now, they're starting to calculate that into miles, and so it's killing your extended warranty. And so with all this being said, I think we've come up with a really good option for guys, you know, the TDH hybrid hoist.
Hybrid hoist.
I've got this slowed down for safety as it develops.
Ryan.
You have an electric over hydraulic system, but it's basically AC servo drive motor is what it is. And so if you think about it, when you go out and pull a pump, the amount of time that you're out there every day, you're not touching the controls probably more than 30% of the time. And so the reason this works out so good is this is a battery powered unit. It's an 82 horse electric motor. It's a Tesla function type motor. I mean, it's very high performance. Give you an example, the Ford PTO, the max horsepower you can get out of a Ford PTO is about 53 horsepower. And this is an 82 horse electric motor that'll go from 0 to 3,000 RPM in milliseconds. And so the only time that the motor runs is when you're touching a switch on the control. And that's why we get the battery life and everything that we do. You guys are going to ask me how long it lasts. So we simulated the other day. We ran the hoist up 20 seconds, paused for 90, come down 20 seconds with 2,500 pound load on it. And we ran it for 8 hours solid, never stopped at one time, and it only used 42% of the battery life. When you get done at the end of the day, pull it in the garage, shop, whatever, you simply plug it in, it'll recharge the batteries. If they're completely drained, it'll recharge the batteries in about 6 to 8 hours. Every function on here works just like normal off of a rig. So what we've done here is even the wire winder's tied to the winch. So when you go up, the wire winder goes up. You can operate the pipe racks. And again too, the only time that the motor's running is when you're touching a function on the control. Doesn't matter whether it's on the remote or on the panel. And this is why we get the battery life out of it that we do. We still have the same, we have more performance out of this electric motor than what you do from the PTO or the transmission. Now, the other aspect of it is everybody's going to say, okay, what do I do when I get out there and the battery goes dead? Well, the truck's still got a PTO on it. So you can start the truck, kick the PTO on, and you can finish out the day doing whatever you need to. Operate the sand line and the main line at the same time. All of our functions, you can see the outriggers on our rig are really wide. They're a true outrigger. They got safety features built in. If you blow a hose or anything, you have to have hoses hooked up for them to go up or down. But the performance of this electric motor has just been mind-boggling, and we kind of came up with this idea. And Ryan over here, he's the
He's the brains of the programming and everything on it, and I told him what I wanted to accomplish, and so we started doing all the research and stuff. You'll notice that on the driver's side over here in the under compartment is where the electric motor is, the charger and the actual brains of it. And then on the passenger side underneath is where most of the battery storage is. I mean, this thing's amazing just because you can back up to a well now, shut the truck off. The reason that we have the exhaust filter problems we do is because they don't like to idle. They can't get hot enough to burn off the exhaust. And you know, you sit there one day, it's okay. If you're on a job 2 days, most of the times, unless you got a manual regen, you got to rig down and go drive the truck down the road to get it to regen and come back and do that. And so now, you're not going to have to deal with those issues anymore. You don't have a deck engine blaring in your ear. There's just a lot of, it works really good for a well guy because this motor doesn't need to run all the time, and you can see it's so fast and it's so responsive that it's incredible. The whining that you're hearing is the actual hydraulic pump motor up here. When Ryan first hooked up the electric motor on the bench, he's like, I can't get it to run. He goes, it says it's running, but and so I go and stand behind the motor and I said, Ryan, it is running. It's spinning 2,500 RPM and you can feel the air, but you couldn't hear the motor running. 70 pound springs. So you got about 1,000 pounds of added weight to the rig. Now the next caveat to that, and all you guys know, is that you got lithium batteries now. And so this rig doesn't have it on it. But lithium's come so far, and they can now build a battery pack suited for just exactly what we need on the rig itself. The big thing for us was we just had to get it out there and start testing it and everything and see how long. I've got way too much battery on this thing because it, you know, running consistent like we did, if you calculate what we did the other day, we pulled 5,240 feet of pipe. And that's impossible. I mean, Gus pulls some deep wells, but I don't know that it's possible to do that in a day. You know, you don't have enough time and stuff. And to only use 40% of the battery power, and it'll operate. Even all the stuff we did at the shop after we got it built and everything, I've never seen the controller go below 73%. But even on the screen, it shows you what the RPM of the motor is. You guys can come over here after we're done and operate it and everything. The cool part about it is that we can operate this all day long for 2 days. So, yeah, it's just a standard 110 plug. If you want to wire it up 220, you can wire it up 220 and it'll charge in half the time. So, and the battery charger, it's a smart charger, so once you plug it in, it goes through 3 different phases and then finally gets to a point where it just maintains it and keeps it charged up if it's over the weekend or vacation or whatever else. Outside of that, if you guys want to come around and check it out, if you got any questions, you know, feel free to catch one of us and ask some questions.